Yeah, welcome into the Tuesday edition. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Tuesday morning, live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. We got a lot of things going on again today here on the program. Nice to see the Chicago Bears pick up where they left off and open things up with a nice season loss last night. Just good stuff.
Yeah, for a while last night, I was like, man, Ben Johnson and Jared Goff are going to miss each other so much. And so are Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson. My goodness, two amazing tandems from last year, just going to be like all year thinking of each other. I will give J.J. McCarthy credit, though. He's turned it on, man. Yeah. And you can see with him, I mean, like the speed with him. And he can rip it, man. So there's some promise there for the Vikings, but woo, Chicago. Oh my God. Oh, there's a nice pick six. There's after that first drive, your best offense of the entire night there for the Chicago Bears. I would not say that was an auspicious debut of Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson together.
You hate to see it. Ian Safar?
Yeah.
How we doing? What's going on?
Doing good, thanks. Made it till about 10 o'clock last night, so missed the end. But
I wish I did the same thing.
Yeah. But yeah, doing great. Thanks. Getting ready to turn the page to the Rams, I guess, here soon.
Yes. Huh? Yeah. Getting close. Although,
kind of.
Coach is making it difficult right now, I'll be honest with you. He's making it difficult right now.
Callie.
Joe, the beginning of Brian Callahan's press conference yesterday started basically how I thought it would, after he got through all the positives that he wanted to get out of the way real quick of what he saw from the game. But he finally got around to, in his words, I guess, why every reporter was there yesterday to discuss.
Normally I talk to nobody about the Titans.
No one sitting in here on the Monday.
It's me and Jimmy Wyatt. Jim, go ahead. Ask another question.
That's all it is. But there was Brian Callahan's original owning up to his wrong interpretation of the Ellick Io Manor play on Sunday in Denver.
And again, I know you guys are all here for the conversation about the play with Ellick and challenging the play and what I said after the game. And look, ultimately, my interpretation of the rule was wrong. I'll own it. We should have challenged the play, and that's pretty much all I can say about it. Is I'll own the mistake. We should have challenged it, and that's where it stands.
So that was Brian Callahan. I said, all right, there it is. That's about how I thought it would go to start this thing off. And he's addressed it and he's owned it. And he said, quote, ultimately, my interpretation of the rule was wrong. And I was like, well, that's not good, but at least he got out there and said it. At least he got up there and said, you know what, that's what it is. Because I think at this point, we all kind of know that's what it is. So I thought that was going to be it. I figured he'd get asked about it a few more times and just kind of repeat the same line. And then he was asked about it a few more times. He did repeat the same line, more or less. And as we got into question about 4 or 5 on this regard, all of a sudden, the answer started to change a little bit. Here's what Brian Callahan had to say as the press conference went on.
Head coach in the NFL play's been around for a long time, and
hold on, go ahead, Jeff.
On the Io Manor play, I mean that rule has been in effect for a long time. I guess in retrospect, are you surprised yourself that you didn't know the correct interpretation of that rule?
Yeah, I think I got a little more clarity on it now at this point. At the end of the day, those things happen really fast, and you're starting to get ready for the next play call, and you're waiting on information from what the look looks like. And look, I misspoke on it after the game, and I'll own that. I'm aware of the rules. I understand the rules. Just again, a mistake that I made that I gotta correct, just like I'd ask our players to.
So that was Brian Callahan after the 4th time, I believe, he was asked about it yesterday. So then you hear him say there, wait a minute, you misspoke on it. Well, what does that mean? So our friend Jared Stillman followed up and said, all right, well, misspoke. Does that mean you knew the rule? Here's what Brian Callahan had to say to that.
So you say that you misspoke yesterday, but at that time you knew that 1 elbow equaled 2 feet.
Say that one more time.
So yesterday when you misspoke on the rule, you did know at that point that 1 elbow equals 2 feet.
At that moment?
Yes.
Yeah, I think at the end of the game, I was worried about a lot of the things that went wrong in the game and the heat of the moment, the frustration of it after the game in the press conference, I think is, again, I misspoke. I'm well aware of the rule. I understand how it works. And the way that I articulated afterwards was incorrect. And, I understand the rules of this game pretty well.
So what's he talking about? I
don't
walked
know.
away from that yesterday, Joe. Like, I heard it in real time, and I saw it. Huh? You start off the press conference saying, ultimately, my interpretation of the rule was wrong. That was what you said, your words. And by the end of it, you're saying, oh, well, I misspoke. I know the rules. What does that mean? Like, I feel like he just tied himself up in this giant pretzel at that press conference yesterday. And now I'm looking at him like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what to take away from that yesterday. Had he just ended it with, yeah, I got it wrong, guys. And that's what it was. I don't love it, but at least we would know. And that's what we'd be talking about. It'd probably be over with after today, at least for the meantime. But now it's like, okay, well, he starts off by saying, ultimately, my interpretation of the rule was wrong. And by the end of it, he's talking about how he misspoke and he knows the rules. I was dumbfounded by this yesterday, Joe. Dumbfounded.
I don't want to talk about this anymore, and yet he's forcing us to talk about this more.
Yeah.
I don't understand what happened. That's classic. Let's extend a story as much as possible and actually make it worse. I have no idea. If you're Brian Callahan, it's, this has gotten to like NFL media now. So you see a lot of people who
He's getting crushed.
Yeah, cover the league in general who are just like, oh my God. And to the initial admission, right? Which is, it's just not good. Like you said, I mean, it's not good to not know the rule. Or, I know that Kaharski has thrown out there, and he asked about this, about, maybe he got, the wrong advice, and they went back and forth on that. And Callahan's like, well, it's my responsibility, which it is. I mean, if someone pipes in and says something like that, then as a head coach, you should know the rules. Say, what? Shut up, dude. Stop talking to me.
Yeah, if it's your rules guy, you probably need to.
But that, yeah, I mean,
that.
if it's rules guy, let him wrong, whatever. You should still know. But yes, it's just like, it's not good. You're gonna get crushed. And that's I don't know. Maybe that's still what the NFL media at large is going to focus on. But now here, we're like, what did he just decide to just totally change his story in the matter of seconds, standing at a podium?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess
he
that's what
changed
happened.
his answer in the middle of the press conference, like within a span of, in real time, probably 3 minutes. I mean, that was my takeaway. Like, I texted you guys yesterday after I heard this, and I was like, did I hear that right? Like, is that what he just did?
I initially was like, did he? I have to listen to that again. But yeah. I mean, I interpreted the rule wrong, so you didn't know, or you had it wrong.
Yeah.
You were mistaken. Versus, no, I misspoke.
Yeah,
what?
Those are not the same things.
No, they're not the same thing.
Those, and like, that's why I heard it yesterday. I was like, oh my God, he's making this worse. Like, just you got it right the first time. Hey, my interpretation of the rule was wrong. And then he kept getting asked about it. And by the time question 4 rolled around, he was misspeaking. I couldn't believe that yesterday, which again goes back to what's he telling the team? I mean, I'm sure that probably came up in their team meeting yesterday. I mean, they're not dumb. They see all the noise about it, and they're certainly going to see it now. But like, did he tell them that he misspoke? Did he tell them that he got the rule wrong? Like, I walked away from that just totally confused by Brian Callahan and his tactics yesterday.
Yeah, it was like, you should know. Again, I mean, it was top of mind for him, right? Because he comes in, you guys are here for this. I mean, I don't know if there was anyone there who's not normally there other than Stilly. So maybe he was just talking about Stilly. He hit Stilly on the brain,
Maybe so.
But it's top of mind. You had a day, basically, or whatever, 20 hours, whatever it is. You had a long time to figure out, okay, how are you going to handle this? And again, off the top, that's it. That's exactly how you handle it. You own it, move on. But I don't understand why then you're going to switch it up basically mid sentence. It's just another, it doesn't help him. I mean, it just doesn't help him publicly. I don't know with the team. That's a good question. I mean, to me, it's more, I think more importantly for the team is this guy good? Does this guy on a Sunday, does this guy help us? Does this guy help us during the week? Do we like working for him, et cetera, et cetera? But it's also, just like us, I'm sure they're sitting there like, wait,
what's
what?
he talking about?
Huh?
Yeah. Well,
It's not good.
Not been a last couple of days. Good last couple of days here for Brian Callahan. I don't know what other way to put it. The in-game stuff is ultimately going to determine whether or not he's here or not. But I mean, the rule stuff is troubling.
Yeah.
It is very troubling, to say the least. We're off and running today on Robby and Rexrode. 615-737-1025, our phone number. We will continue the discussion on Brian Callahan. A lot of your thoughts to get to as well on this subject. We'll get into that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
there are other people who may have been able to tell you, hey, go ahead and challenge that. What happened there?
That process and how those things get relayed, I'll keep those in house. But I'm the head coach of the football team, and my job is to make those decisions. And I didn't do a good enough job in that moment. I should have challenged it, and it probably would have resulted in a potential explosive play. So should have challenged the play.
But your interpretation of it being incorrect, the interpretation of Rob in your ear is also incorrect. He's there to correct you or counsel you, and he's also not getting it right in the moment, correct?
Again, I should have challenged the play, and the communication and how those things happened are all part of the process that we got to do a better job of overall. But I'm in charge of that, and I didn't do a good enough job there. So again, I should have challenged the play.
That's Brian Callahan yesterday. Taking your thoughts on the aftermath of the 20-12 loss for the Denver Broncos, the misinterpretation / misspeaking of the rules that's going on out there. Aaron on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, says, so he misspoke after the game, then misspoke at the beginning of the press conference, but he also misspoke about being misspoken. I've got a headache. This is from Aaron on the text line.
Dang it. When you put it that way, Aaron. I mean, there's something in there that's correctly spoken. I just don't know what it is.
You would think so.
It's not all misspeaking. There's some non-misspeaking, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, man. Joey from Bellevue says, I didn't think it was possible, but Callahan makes Robby more frustrated than people cutting in lines. The last 2 days he has been. I mean, my goodness. What are we doing around here?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, and it's a distraction. Maybe it's a good distraction. I actually, there was something yesterday that I think, again, it's like the two things from Sunday on the coaching front. This is incredible, and this is like I said, this is one of those things. This is going to follow him. Like if he goes on to a great head coaching career, it'll be like, look at this guy came back from this thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of like last year, and everybody's like replaying Dan Campbell talking about biting kneecaps, and then it becomes like this awesome thing for the Lions. Like maybe this will somehow be like the Titans. Like we don't need no rule book. Tighten up. I mean, I have no idea. But if it,
we can only hope.
If it goes poorly, then this is going to be, the dude who didn't know the rules. Yeah. And then lied about it or whatever, Yeah. But I honestly, I seriously, I got triggered yesterday by as we revisit the end of the first half conversation, it didn't work out. I mean, if we have that, so we don't have to get into it now. We can play it at some point, and then I can, have my little tantrum about that. Like the idea that the plays didn't work, so you guys second guess them, which is what coaches always say. And a lot of times coaches are exactly right. It's like third and 2, you ran it, you should have thrown because you got stopped. 3rd and 2, you throw it, you should have ran because you got stopped. Well, that's stupid. I agree, coaches. But before you even start that series, if the entire world's like, okay, they only have 2 timeouts, so you're going to run it and go to halftime, right? Because you're smart, right? The whole world first guessing you, and then you do the stupid thing. Don't sit there and say, oh, yeah, it didn't work out, so you second guess. No, that is not what happened. That's not what that was.
No, it is not.
But anyway, so now I'm sorry. I guess I just.
Well, Ian's got it.
I feel like I have to have my own,
Let's
thing.
Just go ahead and play it and see if we could just get those cheeks even redder than they are right now. Here's what Brian Callahan had to say on the end of the first half sequence yesterday.
Was there confusion there on knowing who
There
was
was.
what?
Yeah.
Brian, you said yesterday that part of that sequence was you wanted to be aggressive.
Yep.
And that moment was the aggression because you thought you could score from the 7-yard line in a minute, or was it because you thought you really needed to get a first down with one play, otherwise they'd get the ball?
That was the intent, was that I knew they were going to be in man coverage. We called a play that was designed to go be man coverage. We had Alec across the field, and I was trying to see if I could took one shot at a place that I knew I felt pretty good about what we were going to get. And I liked the play call in the moment. And we had a shot to hit it, and it would have been a pretty good explosive game that maybe would have gave us one more chance to see if we could get into field goal range, with 1 or 2 more plays, and with timeouts in our pocket as well. So, yeah, I mean, it didn't work. So yeah, certainly in hindsight, you get criticized for it, and that's fair. So, yeah, that's all I can really add to that.
Again, I don't care about the play. So I thought we had a good shot. No, because if it doesn't work out, and let's in your own end zone with that offensive line against that defense, you think that's high percentage? There's no high percentage play.
No.
A shot? So again, if you are thinking that you have now let Denver off the hook because an incompletion, which is highly possible, if not a safety in the end zone, now takes them off the hook with the lost timeout. And so now they've got you. So I don't care what the play is. It's not about the play calling. It's about the game management, which was atrocious. So anyway, thank you. Now I feel better. We can return. We can return to, I misinterpreted. I misspoke.
What else did you miss out on there? Like, it's just, I walked away from that press conference again, just so confused yesterday. I was like, I don't know what he's up there talking about. Don't know what he's talking about. It's just crazy to me. LD from McMindle says, I like how TD asked a question about the person in the booth and the coach tried to protect their identity. And then Paul basically just calls out the person by name. It was very funny.
His name's Rob Reederer. He lives at 731.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul.
So it's Rob's job, right? And he got it wrong.
That's all Doc's Rob.
I do have a texter here who's angry. He says, I think we have to move on. I've heard you guys say opposite things when you talk about a subject for an hour straight. We are arguing semantics. How dare you? I've never done such a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that this is semantics. Like, this is him saying one thing and then saying the complete opposite thing later. Like, that's not semantics. That's two completely different things.
Samantha says, I can't even listen. I have secondhand embarrassment. I'm kind of with you on that. It's like, oh God, just go to the next game.
All he had to do was just keep that first answer and be like, all right. I mean, we'd still have people texting in about, oh my God, I can't believe the NFL head coach doesn't know the rules.
Oh,
like
yes.
That's not going to escape him anytime soon.
Right.
Like, they can make,
it'll be tagged to him.
There could be like some bad play call 7 weeks from now, and maybe he coaches really well until that point, and somebody 7 weeks from now to bad play calls, man, like, well, you got to remember, this is the same guy that doesn't know the rules. So I mean, that's not going anywhere anytime soon. But man, he is not in the good graces of this fan base right now.
No, and he shouldn't be.
Yeah,
he 100% shouldn't be. Look, it's one thing that is coming up a lot already and came up a lot yesterday. It just, I guess there's no way to stop it, but like the whole idea of like take play calling away from him. That's when that is like what you were brought in to do. That's not going to happen. It's not like sometimes you see that where a coach will be like, oh, I'm going to take on the play calling. Like Clark Lee, I'm going to take on, defensive play calling this year. And then it's like, it gets a little bit too much. I'm going to hand it off or whatever.
Yeah. This
is a model in the NFL. It's very popular in the NFL. It's all over the league. And it's like the idea that, okay, Nick, you call plays and I'll be the CEO. That's not his strength is. And honestly, of all the things we've seen from him as a head coach, I think that play calling is the best thing we've seen.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I've never really had strong takes on his play calling one way or the other because of
considering how bad they were, that should tell you something.
Yeah,
right?
Probably so. I mean, I guess I'll put it this way. I didn't walk away from their season last year as bad as it was thinking to myself, well, he's just a horrific play caller. So yeah, maybe there's something to that in terms of how bad they were, that maybe that does tell you something. I did walk away from the last game thinking that, like, not very good. So, I mean, it's one game. Everybody has bad games calling plays.
I think some of his just general approach is too aggressive, not aggressive enough. Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I don't know what kind of play calling. Like, I heard DVD talking about this yesterday, and Willie's point was like some people can handle being the head coach and the play caller, and some people can't. It's too much for some people. And I agree with that. Like, I think that's a fair statement to make. I would also say in this specific instance, like, it's too late. He's a 3-15 head coach. Like, to me, he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt of, here in 4 or 5 weeks coming to the conclusion of, well, I just don't need to be the one calling plays anymore. Like, if that happens, he's going to get fired. Like, they're going to fire him.
Yeah. And again, like if you want to really talk about what he should be doing, well, then I'd let him be the play caller and stop him making him be the CEO. It's the CEO stuff that's bad.
Yeah.
It's the, hey, let's try for something here in deep inside our own end zone. Oh, hey, no, sorry, he didn't touch several digits to the field, so we don't need to challenge that. Like, that's not play calling. I mean, and then the press conference yesterday, that the CEO aspect of his job is where he's failing right now.
Yeah, that's where he could have used a head coach in, talking to the play caller, like, hey, we're just going to run it here.
Yeah.
You don't need, someone, an outsider's thought to like go to the play caller and be like, hey, you're not going to throw. We're backed up here. It's halftime. Just run it and go to halftime.
Yeah. He should have said, Brian, stop it. We're going to run it. He told himself, one ear is this ear, It didn't happen.
Well, and this again goes, and this was something we talked about a lot at the end of the season last year, Joe, of what exactly is Nick Holtz bringing to the table? Like, was there an opportunity to maybe go out there and upgrade at offensive coordinator? And I know some people just automatically roll their eyes when they talk about an offensive coordinator that does not call plays. They're like, okay, I mean, how important is that guy?
They get head coaching jobs.
They do. And like I don't know Nick Holtz. Maybe Nick Holtz is some genius behind the scenes. All I know is their offensive operation for a span of 18 games that they've now been the staff has been the worst in the league. That's what I know.
Yeah, that's very fair. It's like, again, the play calling, like they've had good scripted drives. So again, I think that's fine. But yes, the screen yesterday, which right before his answer on, well, everybody second guesses, so that's fine, was an answer to Easton Freeze about the screen in which three guys went to block.
It's not what you want.
So you got this huge moment, and they don't know who's supposed to catch the football. And I think there were at least a handful, and I'm probably being kind with that, of plays that were just, there was a good question from Kaharski. It was a good back and forth with Kaharski and Callahan yesterday, which was like, Cam having to direct people. And like Callahan said, sometimes that is, oh, we're changing this, we're checking to this, protections here, back, you go here. But I'd say there are at least a handful of plays Sunday where it's like at least one or two people don't have a freaking clue of what you're doing. And I agree. That is, ultimately, that has got to be the OC. But again, the OC and Callahan also are, this is the setup. And the setup is the coach is really, it's the head coach / the offensive head coach. That's his baby. And then there's a head coach of the defense.
Yep. Well, and here's kind of where I want to go from here, because we could spend all show talking about him getting up there and doing what he did at the press conference yesterday. I think in the last 24 hours, that's probably been covered, right? Like, we've probably hit that enough. Well, we'll get back into it a little bit later in the show. But I think now I'm probably more concerned by where does this all go from here now? Like, where is this headed? And I guess my real question is he digging himself in a hole that it's going to be impossible for him to get out of? We'll get into that coming up next. 615-737-1025. Take your thoughts on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com as well. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Later today on ESPN 94.9 The Fan, the Nashville Sounds taking on Gwinnett at First Horizon Park. First pitch at 6:35. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. Sounds baseball on ESPN 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. Let's head to our 102.5 The Game phone line and welcome in Jared in Spring Hill to the program. Jared, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's quite an honor. But man, I'm after listening to that press conference yesterday, I'm still frustrated and disappointed with the lack of accountability from the head coach. I mean, I just expected a little bit more from him. I mean, you even had Simmons after the game. I went back and watched some of that. You had Simmons apologizing directly, saying that's unacceptable. I got to get better and I cost my team. Like, did dumb shit for the team or whatever.
Thank you, Jared, for the call. So I look at this part of the Callahan conversation. And now my question is, can he get out of this? That's what it comes down to. Can he get out of this? Because I think if you go back, and we talked about this in the offseason, you look at coaches that have been there for a year that inherit number 1 overall picks and number 1 overall quarterbacks. The odds pretty much tell you they're going to get fired. Like, that's what the odds basically say, is it is very unlikely that those coaches are going to survive and get through to being the head coach 2-3 years from that point. Everybody agrees. And I heard DVD again talking about this yesterday. I think we all agree that the best case scenario for the Titans would be for them to look like a well-coached football team this year, to see some positive development from Cam Ward, and to get to a place at the end of the season where you felt good about how things were going, especially with the quarterback, right? I think we all generally agree with that.
Yeah, I would say so.
We're 1 game in. It did not go well. As people have pointed out, they did cover. They did play a really good team on the road, but the way it went down, not very good.
They played a really good team that will look back at that as the worst, most, here, please take this game from me, game of their entire season.
Which
but
very well could be the case. Yes, very well could be the case. But I've said the whole time, you have to show something as a head coach along the way. You don't get to just, like this. I think this conversation is too prevalent right now, which is basically, oh, well, they can't fire him because if they fire him, Cam Ward's screwed. It's like, well, maybe. You know how Cam Ward could also be screwed? If you keep around a head coach that isn't good.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think more people are drifting that way.
Well, I mean, yeah, like right now, and again, there's time to change it, but right now the body of evidence for Brian Callahan is he's a 3-15 head coach with not anywhere close to enough answers that looks like he coaches a very undisciplined football team that can't get out of their own way. Like, that's what he is at the moment. So how do you fix that moving forward? I just, the more I look at it, Joe, the more I think he's in a rough spot right here. And we're going to have to see something here pretty quickly that he, to this point, has not demonstrated for us to be having a different conversation at season's end about him still being the head coach. He's not shown it to this point.
Yeah. No, definitely not enough. Definitely mucky when it comes. Again, going into the year, I mean, I was more like, open mind. They were terrible last year. They had the worst roster in the league. Everybody would agree they had the worst roster in the league. That's not his fault. Other coaches would have done better with that roster? Yes. But again, you're not asked to keep your job. You don't have to be a top 5 coach in this league, right? You have to be competent. You have to be good. And the whole competent thing is in serious question after the last couple of days. How he gets out of it, to me, I mean, Cam Ward is how he gets out of it. Cam Ward being great. Not great, but Cam Ward building on some of the things we saw, which were good. Some of the throws, the overall poise, get rid of some of the sacks and things like that. Cam Ward is how he gets out of it. And again, there has to be some winning in there too. There has to be some overall, like two parts of this team were good. So if you want to go CEO, but again, those aren't, like, he has a good special teams coordinator And I think that was a really good day for Denard Wilson. But, yeah, fine. It's the product
Yeah,
is his. He's the head
whole
coach.
thing's his, yeah.
Yeah. But then again, when his part of it
Yeah.
is as bad and is so much of a suck on the whole thing and flips it to where you lose, then it's not good, man. But Cam Ward is how. I mean, winning and Cam Ward progressing, and, you know, if they're terrible, but Cam Ward is good, first of all, it's hard for me to believe that they're not going to win some games if Cam Ward's good.
I would agree.
You know, I think that's a heck of a needle to thread, but that's the answer. And again, and look, some of it is, I mean, some of it honestly is not just Cam Ward playing well and all that, but it's also Cam Ward, and he's already done this. I don't even know if he was like doing it intentionally, but he's already campaigned for Callahan publicly, right? I mean, kind of during the preseason, some of the stuff he said.
But
I mean, he was asked the questions, but still.
Well, but I would also say, like, is that going to continue? I don't know. If he keeps, like, if he's looking around saying, I don't know, man.
That's a great question. And I don't think Cam Ward will ever get to the point where, I really need somebody new.
No, I don't think he's going to come out in the public and be like, yeah, we need to fire our coach.
But it's like you can be effusive, which I would say he probably was in the preseason, about how good this coach is for you and all this stuff and all you've learned and you like working with him. And then you get a little bit more non-committal. If things keep going poorly and you hear less from him on it, because, I mean, he is the whole – everything's built around him. All the hopes are on Cam Ward. So if he actually truly believes that and said, no, this is my guy, well, that's probably as important almost as anything that happens on the field.
I would agree. Now, you know, he also said that Traylon Burks is the top 5 wide receiver in favor of Restrepo. So I think sometimes
Brian Callahan's the greatest coach of all time. Vince Lombardi, step aside.
I couldn't tell if it was Newt Rockney or Brian Callahan out there. Like, it's just so.
It's got to be discouraging, though, when you have a play, an explosive play on the board, and your coach didn't realize you're supposed to challenge the play.
Yeah. Well, I would think so.
And
it's like whether you're
yesterday,
Iomanner or Ward, it's like, okay, I made this play, I've done everything, and here are my coaches. He doesn't know what's going on.
And I'm not trying to be dramatic when I say this, but that's why I kept going back to yesterday. Like, I think that is very damaging to him in the locker room. I do. Like, you have to have confidence as a player in the NFL that your coaches know what they're doing. And if that confidence ever starts to be shaken, that's a big problem. That's why I think this is a huge deal. I really do. Like, I think the fact that he didn't know the rule and it just bumbled through that explanation yesterday, I guarantee you, there are players in that locker room right now looking at him going, what? Like, does he not get it? And that's not a good spot to be as an NFL head coach. I'm sorry.
No.
It's just not.
No, I mean, look, that's why, like, this week, I mean, show media something, show the fans something. I mean, I think I could see him getting booed. This week, show your players something, man.
Yes.
Your game plan, like, you better come up with some stuff where coaching made the difference in this, if not win, at least like really good performance. And it's hard for me to say, you have to beat the Rams. I very much don't think they're going to beat the Rams. The Rams are really good.
Yeah.
But like, this is like, you need some stuff where it's like, look at how coaching, and look, was there stuff last year that we're not aware of where the behind the scenes film study, that was good for him? I'm sure. Was there stuff Sunday where it's like, hey, look, we had this ready and but again, even if it's like one guy was off, oh, you didn't know your assignment, again, that is coaching too, right?
Yes.
And so defensive guys look at it and say, how the heck are these offensive guys so discombobulated? The freaking receiver doesn't know that, like, one of them is catching the ball on this play. They're all blocking. Like, how does that happen?
Well, look,
that's coaching.
And it's also, I understand that, people got in this fight with me on Twitter in the preseason about Jarvis Brownlee. Remember when Jarvis Brownlee in the preseason, like, picked somebody up and body slammed them as a tackle? And I was like, well, yeah, that's going to get called as a personal foul. They were like, well, that's just Brownlee being an idiot. That's not coaching. I was like, well, yeah, if you want to break down every single penalty in the league, it all is the player's fault, right? Like, nobody's coaching you to jump off sides. Nobody's coaching you to hit somebody after the play like Jeffrey Simmons did the other day. But the bottom line is, if you are consistently a team that has trouble with taking stupid penalties, that is a reflection on your coaching at some point.
Yeah, no question. And if there's a repeat offender, like Brownlee and Simmons basically are the guys who, different kinds of penalties. But yeah, I mean, at some point you need to tamp that down. And also when the overall number just barely comes up short of your total offense in a game, then that's definitely a coaching reflection.
Well, and again, he talked about this phrase came up a lot yesterday, or your points of emphasis, or we'll emphasize it. And I'm sitting here thinking the whole time, like, well, I mean, look, you just apparently emphasize penalties all off season, right? Like it's one of your goals was, eliminating these self-inflicted negative plays, right? And you emphasize sins, and you emphasized it all off season. And the first game, you had 13 penalties. It's like, I don't know what you're doing to emphasize things, but it ain't getting through.
Right. I'll have a daily like players play for a coach. No, but does the message get through? Like, does whatever the coach does to try to make these things happen, like, do those things work based on one game? No.
615-737-1025, our phone number. More discussion on this coming up. We will get into some college football at 7:00. A huge win over the weekend for Vanderbilt. A massive weekend coming up next weekend for both Vanderbilt and Tennessee. We'll get into all that coming up. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts on the Titans at 615-737-1025. Let's head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Santa in Portland to the program. Santa, good morning.
Keep it clean, Santa.
Robby, Joe, I'll do my best. I am clearly in the minority. A very, very small minority. I think the media is making this a lot more than it is. What I saw after listening to the post-game press conference and then listening to yesterday was a coach doing his best and fumbling at it of trying to fall on the sword and taking the heat for a staff guy that made a bad call. Should he have known? Yeah, he should have known. But one question I have is, how come all those refs on the field didn't know that rule and make the right call? Okay, that's what they're paid for as well. So that's just one point. The other point is, I used to have a job where the minimum level of acceptable competence was perfection. You had to be perfect every day. So when I trained new people in that job, I trained them lightly. Then you get busier, then it gets more complex. And before they're ready to go, they have to be able to work the most complex and busy issues before they're allowed to go on their own. And what I've seen is Callahan bringing this team along slowly with vanilla during pregame like everybody does. And yesterday they got their first taste of real. And I think I see encouraging positivity, a lot of mistakes. Nothing surprised me. What exactly happened with the offensive line, I knew was going to happen. As soon as one of them falls out, they get a weak link put in, and then it all goes to crap. So it's just one of those things that I think that we got to have patience. I think that I'm not going to really make my mind up about the whole team until the bye sometime in November. But I think it's just been, we're just worried about nothing. But
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Would you like to rip Santa? Or I disagree with most of that call. I like Santa.
I would say this.
That's very sunshiny.
I don't think we're the ones making a big deal out of the NFL head coach not knowing the rule. That's a problem. Now, whether or not he's trying to protect a staff member, maybe he is. He's doing a very poor job at it if that's what he's doing. Rob, SPK, just totally outed yesterday. If that's what's happened and he got bad advice on the headset, that's fine. He should still, as an NFL head coach, be like, no, did he get his elbow down or did he not?
Right.
Because I know the rule. Like Amani Hooker immediately on the sideline, you can see it on the shot, is like, catch, elbow. That's what he did. Catch, elbow.
Like he's about to drop an elbow in a wrestling match.
Right.
Like, so then you get into, when he then talked about it after the game, was he just not knowing the rule? Like, did Rob, poor Rob,
Rob's catching strays.
Did he say no, don't challenge or whatever? Or did Rob say, oh yeah, you got to have another foot down too? And then Callahan repeated that after the game.
Maybe,
but the head coach needs to know that. So you can't put this all on Rob. You cannot. And again, Rob had nothing to do with Callahan yesterday saying he misinterpreted the rule and saying, well, I didn't know the rule, I just misspoke.
Yeah, those two very different things.
Misinterpret and misspeak are two. So, I'm sorry. I appreciate Santa's general patience with the team and all that stuff, but this is not nothing.
No, I totally agree. It's not nothing. Now, I will say this. I mean, the charge is, I asked how can Brian Callahan dig himself out of it? I mean, the charge is on him to, let's see some massive growth and improvement here. First off, you're going to need it this week against LA. And I don't think that game's going to go very well. And I said it yesterday. I mean, it's 1 week, so I don't know that I'm ready to throw a Indiana Jones parade yet. 1 week, they looked pretty good against a Dolphins team that I don't really know what they are right now, but he looked good. So that's going to be I gave them the win in that game before the season. That's not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination. I think we know that. There's no such thing as a guarantee for the Titans as a win in the NFL. So, again, the task is in front of you here. The schedule works against you in the first half of the year, and can you manage it? Because I understand we all agree winning and the win-loss record is not the most important thing this year with this team. But you do have to win some. Like, you can't just lose all of them. You got to start to win here if you're Brian Callahan.
Yeah, the league is designed for everybody to win their share. Mitchell says, I agree with the caller. If we would have won, what would the conversation be? Would you still be coming down so hard on Brian Callahan? Well, no. Obviously, the conversation would be different. Now, would that challenge still have been asked? Yes. Winning coaches are still asked about things like challenges. Winning coaches are still asked about things like the situational football botching at the end of the first half. Had they won, though, well, of course, there'd be other things. Other things would have happened in the game. I don't know what, but that would have changed the outcome. Now, one thing that could have changed the outcome is knowing the rules and taking that huge chunk play, of which you had very few opportunities to even have one in this game, and then maybe that changed the outcome. So now that, of course, we're not coming down on him because then he would have done the right thing. But if these mistakes stayed the same and they won, would these be complete non-discussions? No. Would they be as dominant as they are now? No.
Well, what kind of a question is that? If they would have won, would the conversation be different? If I had $1 billion, would I be a billionaire? I mean, yes. That's what the name of the game is in the NFL, of course.
If
Brian Callahan,
ifs and buts or candies
if
and
Brian
nuts,
Callahan was 14-3 instead of 3-14, we'd probably be having a different conversation about it. So I don't even know what kind of a question that is. If they won, would the conversation be different? Yeah. But they didn't, did they?
Sorry, Mitchell. I didn't realize we were going to rip you like this.
Well, I mean, what kind of question is that?
I mean, yeah.
If the Titans would have won the game, do you think the conversation would be different? Yeah, probably. They ain't been doing a whole lot of winning, though, have they?
If Will Levis completed every pass last year, yeah. Thank you, Mitchell. Mitchell and Rob. Today. Who else can we rip
Catching
today?
some strays out there. I'm sorry, I don't know why that bothered me so much. I was like, well, of course, it's professional sports.
Yeah.
It's about winning and losing.
Yeah. But yeah, no, absolutely. I get it. But I mean, seriously, like if you go back, you go watch a press conference, like if you watch a game and like there's some obvious like mistakes or a challenge that doesn't work, like Vrabel after every game they won or lost, if there was a challenge, he would have been, and he lost the challenge. They won the game. He's still asked about the challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these things are still discussed.
All right, let's take a Titans breather. 615-737-1025.
Probably need one.
Our phone number. It was a big weekend for the Vanderbilt Commodores. They get a huge win at Virginia Tech. There is a massive week of college football coming up with the two SEC teams around here. We will get into all that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Tuesday morning. Live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios. Home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. We will get back into the Titans a little bit later in the program. We have NFL headlines later this hour, our biggest takeaways from week 1 around the league. We got the Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up at 7:45. But, Joe, we begin this hour. What a win for Vanderbilt over the weekend. It's nice to be talking about some wins around here and some good football. And Vanderbilt certainly put that on display in the second half. Now, the first half, turned the ball over a little bit, didn't quite get going, found yourself down 10 at halftime against Virginia Tech. And then they just went out there and absolutely destroyed the Hokies in the second half. Like a half against a Power 4 team, Joe, that I'm not sure I've seen quite before from a Vanderbilt football team. And it wasn't just the amount of points that they scored. It was the way that they did it. I mean, Pavia was surgical. I thought he hit some deep shots down the field. The ball placement was really good. Like, he looked great in that second half on Saturday. And they win 44-20 on the road at Virginia Tech in a game that Tech was favored in. The stadium was clearing out with like 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Just a dominant second half performance for Vanderbilt. What did you make of that statement from Clark Lee and company?
Eye-opening. And I understand, like, Virginia Tech's probably a 6-6 team or something like that. Virginia Tech has talent. We talked about it after the South Carolina game. If we believe that South Carolina is talented, and I mean, I know they have an edge who is going to be a first-round pick next year. I think they have one of the top. I mean, in terms of overall talent, explosiveness, their quarterback is special. I don't know where he's going to end up in the draft hierarchy, but he's special. And, like, overall, that's a very good football team. Virginia Tech was absolutely blow for blow with them for most of that game until you had the punt return.
Yep.
And that, and they couldn't. And their quarterback's very inconsistent. Drones is very inconsistent. But that's a talented, solid, Power 4 football team.
Great
at
nickname.
home. What's that?
He's got a great nickname. Drone Strike. It's awesome.
No, I didn't even know that. Really?
That's sick.
That's better than the Pharaoh.
It's Drone Strike.
Drone Strike. Nice. And that's the thing. I mean, he make big plays, and also, Vanderbilt absolutely put him in misery in the second half. So again, to me, that was great coaching, great scheming defensively. That's a talented Power 4 team at home at night. Enter Sandman, all that stuff is still awesome. The program isn't. The team isn't, but it's solid. And Vanderbilt destroyed them. This is not normal Vanderbilt stuff. They destroyed them. I know at one point in the second half, I think Virginia Tech got it to like 20 yards or something like that. But at one point in the second half, it was like 264 to negative 18 total yards in the second half. Or 2 something to negative. They ended up with 264 rushing yards in the game. So the scheme, they've got speed. I mean, Trey Richardson is a difference maker. They are different with that guy and his speed. And a tremendous touchdown catch from Pavia. And again, like you said, a great pass. I mean, it's exciting. I mean, if you're a Vanderbilt fan, I can't claim to like know those Franklin teams that well. Watched them some back then. They were good. They also took advantage, I think, in those times. This was down Florida, down Georgia. The schedule was going. I mean, I think this has a chance to be the best Vanderbilt team since. You can go way. You can probably go back, and true historians who might be able to throw out a team here or there. But like this is a legit Power 4 football team that the schedule is brutal, so I'm not going to start getting crazy with it. But they got a chance to really do something this year.
No, they're good. They're a good team. And again, to your point, the schedule maybe, we'll see, maybe limiting of like how good they're going to be, right? Like, are they some
Also
9-3
opportunity.
10? There's a lot of opportunity.
9-3 with that schedule.
Yeah, I mean, they look really good. Again, now the Charleston Southern game might as well not have happened because I don't know that does anybody any good. I don't know how good Virginia Tech is, but I'm with you. I think they do have some talent out there. They've had to play South Carolina and Vanderbilt in their first 2 weeks. Now, where do they go from here? I don't know. We'll see. We'll get into Vandy, South Carolina here in a minute because to me, that's unbelievably fascinating coming up this weekend. Vanderbilt's good. I mean, you got the quarterback play that we knew about in Pavia, and he looks to be just as dangerous as he was a year ago. And frankly, like he might be better throwing the ball. Like he might be a little bit more accurate. Like he's worked on that. So we'll see how that shakes out. I still like there, even the other night, there were a couple times where he shook loose and there was one play specifically, he pitched it on an option and then dove head first as a lead blocker. And I was
Yeah,
like,
he did.
You got to stop doing that.
He had a couple lead blocks where it's like, stop.
I know. Because so I
He
say,
like, tried to hit the guy hard.
yeah, like
Held it
which
first,
again,
shoulder first.
I love the mentality. I really do. Like, I think it's awesome. And I said it after the Virginia Tech game last year. That's the type of guy that Vanderbilt has needed for a long time. The guy you rally around, all that. It still makes me question whether or not he's going to be able to hold up throughout the entirety of a college football season playing that way. We'll see. But they're good. I mean, I think the program that Clark Lee has built here is pretty impressive. And I'm interested to see, can they take it on the road to South Carolina, a place that they've not had any success recently. I mean, just none against South Carolina, against that team and that quarterback. That's a heck of a game coming up this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. And when the schedule first came out, I looked like, okay, well, that's a loss. At that place, they just haven't played well. They haven't matched up well. Your boy, Beamer, has had their number a little bit.
Big Vandy fan this weekend.
28-7 in Nashville last year. But I think that's one of the best games on the schedule this week. I mean, I think it's a sneaky, huge game in college football. I mean, if you get that win, first of all, I think it will hold up. I mean, I still think South Carolina has a chance to be right there. And I want to watch the game. We're still finding out about these teams. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Brock Tech hanging with South Carolina was actually more of a red flag for South Carolina. And Vandy's going to beat them, and they're going to go 6-6, and you'll just love life.
It was week one.
I mean,
You'll be almost as happy as if
Carolina.
the Packers win the Lombardi.
I mean, I will say, like, South Carolina really didn't look all that great this last week either.
Yeah, so maybe it wouldn't hold up, but if Vanderbilt wins, it would be gigantic. Then they got two games that, I mean, the way they're playing, because I agree, Charleston Southern, whatever, but it's like those are still games. Again, like last year they lose to Georgia State.
Oh yeah,
it feels like they're like past that stuff, right? So we're talking about 5-0 Vanderbilt going to Bama.
Yeah.
Okay, so like you're talking about really like building momentum and excitement for a Vanderbilt team. Again, I need people to tell me to compare it. I remember watching like a Franklin era team against Ole Miss, like a night game.
Yeah.
I think they lost a killer.
These guys feel more explosive to me.
I agree.
Like
Well, I
just
think
outside, just like some skill players.
I
Like
think
they had
there's-
Jordan Matthews,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But he's not like a burner. He's not.
He was a great
He's
player.
great college player.
Yeah, he was a great
but,
college player.
Yeah, but let's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. These guys feel like they got some speed and some guys on the outside who can make some plays that
Yeah.
don't usually happen.
You got a first round tight end. Cedric
And you got some-
Alexander is a dude too.
and some
He's
guys
better.
on defense who can move.
Well,
Yes.
in those teams, Jordan Rodgers was the quarterback, and he was a good college
There's some
quarterback.
similarities to Rodgers and Pavia,
Yeah.
a little bit.
But he wasn't like
He's not this
like
dude.
just like a bulldog out there trying to run everybody over. He wasn't that. Like
Yeah.
this, it's Bobby's different. Like
Yeah.
it's just, I think he's the difference with this.
Yeah, it is the difference as a player. Again, I love the scheme. They just will throw in something like, oh, there's speed option out of nowhere.
Yep.
And, oh, there's a little fake option, and you throw it to a little shovel. I mean, the different things you can do with him and then what they do is a lot of fun. So I think it's right now it's the makings of something special. And, as you said, they played Charleston Southern. So you have to take that with a grain of salt.
It looked like it maybe took him a half to get rolling against Tech. Just the adjustment to the talent level.
Yeah,
I agree.
From Charleston Southern to Tech. And Tech.
Their D looked bad. Their D did not look good early in that game. And then all of a sudden it was like
making mistakes.
Virginia Tech has nothing that they can possibly do, which again, to me, I think that's a coaching commentary, right?
I agree. Yeah. I mean, they outscored them 34-0 in the second half.
Yeah. Again, after the first half, I was like, Virginia Tech's kind of going up and down the field on them. So, do you know who the top two most efficient quarterbacks in college football are?
Joey Aguilar and Diego Pavia.
Pavia 1, Aguilar 2.
There you go.
There you go. Football is
high-level quarterback play around here, baby. All right.
Football in the state of Tennessee is not all buns.
It is not.
It's not just the tight buns.
Yeah, very nice. Is that what we're going with now?
I don't know.
Tight buns? Let's put it to a vote on the text line. What do we like better, the low T Titans or the tight buns?
That was in the grid. I was like, tight buns. Is that a typo or what are we doing here?
Did you ever see something like that?
Brilliant wordplay, okay?
Yeah. If you ever see something like that from the grid, it didn't come from me. It always comes from him.
Most of the swear words are mine too.
That is also true.
Talk.
Sorry. Yeah, a lot of butt talk and swear words.
Yeah. It's true. So, with all of that in the backdrop, it does set up a massive week here for the SEC football teams around here. Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee. We'll get kind of our first look at both of those matchups coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
what challenges do the Gamecocks present as a team, as well as Lenora Sellers individually?
Well, I've got, I think in so many ways, this game last year was so disappointing to me. And I left the field just with a deep respect for the program that Shane Beamer has built. I looked across the field and I saw a team that was physical and tough and playing good defense and establishing a run game. And it felt like they almost beat us at our identity. And so to start there and say, this is a prideful group that has really built something that is substantive and you can see it and feel it. They've come out again this year and had a hot start, and it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a real challenge, especially on the road in a really neat environment, which I'm excited for, but also understand that it makes the task harder.
That's Clark Lee looking ahead to South Carolina. Maybe a little bit too much respect for Shane Beamer thrown out there. A little bit too much.
Don't say nice things about Shane Beamer around Robby.
Don't want to hear it. Do not want to hear it. I got some tickets to give away. A pair of tickets to see Judas Priest and Alice Cooper at First Bank Amphitheater on Sunday, September 21st. Be caller 3, 615-737-1025. Caller 3 will win a pair of tickets to see Judas Priest and Alice Cooper at First Bank Amphitheater on Sunday, September 21st. So Tennessee, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, South Carolina coming up this weekend. Georgia and Tennessee. Joe, let's start on the Vandy, South Carolina front. This is going to be a big test for Vanderbilt, as we've discussed. Not a place where they've had a ton of success. I'm very interested to see what they do against Lenora Sellers. Like, how does that defense limit Lenora Sellers? Can they limit Lenora Sellers, who I think is a very, very good player? I think when he gets moving and scrambling around, he's very difficult to tackle. Very difficult to tackle, which really kind of stands out about him. And he can make all throws. I mean, he's a really good player. So Vanderbilt defensively, that's to me where this starts. Can you limit Lenora Sellers? And then offensively, that was probably the most disappointing part of the game last year. They did nothing against South Carolina offensively. And I know at that point, Pavia was dealing with the injury, and he just kind of looked like a shell of himself out there, and it wasn't good. So he's healthy going into this. What does that look like? How much different does it look against South Carolina this year?
Yeah, I do think that's definitely something to keep in mind with some of the, some people pointed out to us, if you look at a lot of the overall offensive numbers last year, Vanderbilt actually weren't good. They had some tremendous performances, but also if you look at it, a lot of their lesser performances came later in the year when Pavia, the run element just really wasn't nearly as lethal as it was early in the year, and that was true the South Carolina game. And then he got a little healthier, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, in the Georgia Tech in the bowl game, it was like, see, this is the bind you can put teams in, with him. So, I think that makes a difference. I think you're exactly right. I mean, Sellers is just such a problem. It's just like, this is a huge step up in, again, Virginia Tech hung with them, but Sellers, along with the punt return, was a huge difference maker ultimately in that game and made some big plays in the fourth quarter that also helped separate them. So can you put him in 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 9, and not let him be in 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3? I mean, that's big part of this, just up front defensively. Can you not let them just run the football? I mean, I think that's a big part of this game.
Well, then Georgia and Tennessee coming up on Saturday at Neyland. College game day is going to be there. It's a top 15 matchup. Tennessee moved up from number 22 in the AP poll to number 15 in 1 week. So that was interesting after a beat down of ETSU. So that happened. See what that looks like.
Good voting.
Yeah, good stuff going on out there. Tennessee, I believe when the line opened, was a 7.5 point home dog, and it's now down to 3.5. So that has changed quickly this week. Tennessee, Georgia, a 3.5 point spread. And this is a different matchup from the standpoint of usually they meet a little bit later in the year. Forever they met either very into September, early part of October, and then recently that's kind of flipped toward the end of the year for Tennessee, Georgia. And now it's the conference opener. So Tennessee and Georgia have both played two teams so far that are not very good. I mean, Syracuse was good last year. I don't know that they're all that good this year.
Tennessee's
And
at least played a Power 4 team.
that's true. Georgia has played Marshall and Austin Peay. So I don't really know about this Georgia team yet. I mean, there's a baseline of what we do know about Georgia. They're unbelievably talented. They have a great coaching staff. They're going to be extremely physical. They're going to play good defense. So we know all those things about Georgia, but Gunnar Stockton going to be a big test for him going on the road at Neyland. And this is a puzzle that Josh Heupel has not solved yet to this point. The Georgia matchup has not gone well for him. Now, last year, what did they lose by 14 last year? I think the game closer than that.
But they were outplaying them for a lot of the game. They
were
led for a lot of the game.
And then Carson Beck turned it on, and that was that. So is this the year that Tennessee can hang around with Georgia and have a chance to win the game at the end of the game? I'm interested to see what that looks like on Saturday.
Yeah, it's I mean, this could be the fifth time is the charm. I think it's a really good opportunity. The line is a little bit like easy, everybody. But look, the money's going on Tennessee. I mean, that's just what it is. That's how a line moves. And so a lot of money is going on Tennessee in this game to bring a line down 4 points like that. I also do wonder, it's like is Gunnar Stockton like walking around campus in a boot? We just don't know it yet or something. Like, I mean, it's a little bit disconcerting, but I think Tennessee's got a great opportunity. I haven't thought that Gunnar Stockton is great. I don't still. There's nothing early that has indicated he is. I'll say that, and he'll go for 350 and 3 touchdowns and run for 80 yards. But I don't think that he's the same level of talent, or at least not right now. He doesn't put it all together as some past Georgia quarterbacks. They don't have, again, they're loaded, but like usually a few guys on defense who are like, wow, like, is that going to be the first defensive player picked, or are they getting 8 dudes picked off this defense? They're not quite that. If you look at like draft projections and stuff, it's not the same quite there either. So I'm not like saying at all like Kirby Smart's program is like regressing or anything like that, but you have ups and downs. And sometimes you do have to just reload, and you don't quite have that same ridiculous like unicorn player like he's had. So I think like Georgia being in the playoff or making a run at a national title this year, I wouldn't be that surprised. But Tennessee getting them right now, I think it's a great time for Tennessee to play this game, because Georgia's probably the type of team that they have so much talent and they're so well coached. Like in November, they're going to be just a better team. I think getting them right now in your place is a tremendous opportunity, and it might be a win if you can get it that really holds value this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes down. Now, Tennessee is going to be without their top 2 corners in this game. We know Ricky Gibson is out.
That would be the bad part of the timing.
Jermod McCoy doesn't look like he's going to be available in this one. Now, the corners that they've played, Colton Hood has looked really good so far. And Ty Redmond, a true freshman, has looked really good so far. It's a different animal that they're about to go up against on Saturday. And to me, this is where we really start to figure out about Joey Aguilar and the receivers. This is the game. Because, again, I don't think Syracuse is very good. And the other one was ETSU, and they could have scored 150 points in that game if they wanted to. Is this a game where Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley and Chris Brazzell can get open and can make some plays? Or are we a quarter and a half into the game and you're looking around and saying, man, those guys, they can't win one-on-one press man against this Georgia team? Aguilar has been very efficient so far. He's taking care of the football. Again, it's been against Syracuse and ETSU. So I would imagine that there's going to be some more situations in this game where he's under more duress than he has been. The Tennessee offensive line has played well to this point, and David Sanders has not played. Is he going to play this week? What's that going to look like? To me, the offense has looked great so far. I think there are limitations as to what that actually means, and we're going to find out a lot on Saturday as to what kind of an offense they really are.
No doubt. And look, the struggles Aguilar had last year, terrible defense and all that stuff, but it's like you do have to wonder when you throw that many picks, are you not vulnerable for one or two against a defense like this, against defenses like this in the SEC? It's going to be really, but I really do like how he looks. And I think Staley is good, and there's some really good signs with Matthews. And so
Brazel's looked really good
Yeah,
so
and
far.
Brazel's
looked better
solid.
through 2 games so far than he did at any point last year.
And that's what you hope happens,
yeah.
right? Like guys get better. They stay in your program and they improve. Yeah, like the receiver panic going in the year, that's definitely calmed down. But yeah, this is okay.
We'll find out.
Let's see. You do it against them, and it's like, wow, you've really got something.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll get to NFL headlines from week 1. The Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up at 7:45. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Tuesday morning. We'll have the Rex Rant coming up here in just a few minutes. NFL Week 1 has now come and gone. Some interesting results over the weekend. Aaron Rodgers with the Steelers goes into the New York Jets against his old team and
opened a can.
Plays great. He was 22 of 30, 244 yards, 4 touchdown passes for the old man at quarterback against his former team in the New York Jets. Afterwards saying it was nice to beat everybody associated with the New York Jets.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
What'd you make of Rodgers and his performance in Week 1 against his old team? A shootout between Rodgers and Justin Fields.
Well, that was one of the most fun games to watch. You know, a lot of these Week 1 NFL games are kind of ugly, kind of like Titans Broncos, right? With a lot of offense that's looking bad and a lot of bad offensive line play. I mean, the thing is, like, Justin Fields actually looked really good in that game. I thought,
yeah,
he was throwing the ball really well. And Rodgers, that's big time, man. I mean, that's a big time win to me for Pittsburgh, just to have vibes early and not get into it. Because I think with the whole Aaron Rodgers thing, you know, I mean, I think it's worth a shot for them, given they didn't have anything else going on. But you know, it can go the other way on you with him, right? And just the negativity, and you know, a lot of guys in that locker room just are like, "What's up with this dude, man?" Right? Like any locker room that would have Aaron Rodgers right now would have to be super skeptical about him, I would think. And so for him to come in and light it up like that, I think
he looked good.
I think my Mike Tomlin Coach of the Year thing might be. But then again, it's also like, so you let the Jets crush your defense like that? Like, I don't know how good they're on defense, but still, I mean, it's fun. It's a more interesting league if he's going to be good this year and they're going to be good. I think that's better for the league.
I'd agree. Micah Parsons makes his Packers debut against the Lions. I think he played 29 snaps, so not a ton of snaps that he played, but effective in the game. Packers win 27-13 against the Lions. What did you make of that one? That game, Parsons' debut.
I mean, it was dominant. Dominant defense on the Packers. He made a clear difference. I think on the pick, you know, he definitely influenced that. I mean, I think the Packers, to me, it's like the Eagles. I think I'd stick with what I said previously. I think Eagles and Packers would be my top tier. And, you know, I'm open-minded on the Rams. Commanders, Packers this week. Very interesting game. Lions are, I mean, I'm sorry. The Lions are, I said they're going to go 9. Dude, they're not good. Listen, Jared Goff, he's proved a lot in the last few years. He's also 0-19-1 if McVay or Ben Johnson are not calling his plays for him.
I've seen that, yeah.
If he does not have a great offensive line, which he's had a great offensive line, anchored in the middle by Frank Ragnow, who now has retired, then look at him. I'm watching him right now. Now, I understand that Micah Parsons is fast, but he's chasing a wounded rooster. I mean, the guy, I absolutely could outrun Jared Goff.
There was, people are saying it looks like a cheetah after the gazelle.
Yeah.
You can just see him. You just see him. You know, it's like National Geographic, just chasing him down. Hot jump on him, wildebeest down.
I could
rip him apart.
I couldn't believe Goff didn't get rid of the ball. I was like, hey, man, you might want to throw this ball because he's right behind you.
Like, if anybody's seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail? Yeah. Okay. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You know the part where they're running at the castle, and they're like a mile away, and and I was like, I just stab them. It's like that. I was like, Jared, are you moving? Nah, the Lions, I don't even know if they're going to go 9-8. I think I might have been optimistic.
Oh, ease up.
Bet me right now. Okay, fine. I'll take.
I have to look at their schedule, but I mean,
look at it.
Schedule's tough, man.
It's insanity. It's insanity.
I mean, the Vikings don't look terrible with McCarthy. So you've already lost 1 to the Packers. You got 1 more and 2 against the Vikings. So that's 4 right there.
Yeah. They're third place. They're going to finish third. The Bears will be last, which will be fun. But no, I mean, they are, and their defense, you know, for all the good things they've done, you know, they think this Aiden Hutchinson coming back and now you're fine. They never addressed it.
The corners aren't very good.
Yeah, there's that too. Sorry, Lions.
They were giving up a lot of points at one point last season.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Once they lost Hutchinson, their defense was like about as bad as there was in the league. I mean, it's They've had an incredible offensive run. It's over. Sorry.
The Chiefs fall to 0-1 after a 27-21 loss in Brazil. And by the way, they have Philadelphia coming up this week. Now they're at home.
Game.
It's, at Arrowhead, but an opportunity if Philadelphia marches into Arrowhead and looks anything like they look like in the Super Bowl matchup between these two teams the last time, we could be looking at an 0-2 Kansas City team. So what did you make of Kansas City, who I thought, frankly, looked pretty bad in the first half of that game, and then they started to figure it out a little bit in the second half, but did not go well for them in the first half of that game against the Chargers.
Well, look, Xavier Worthy, that injury is by the way, I haven't even do we have a what is I totally missed like the results.
It was a shoulder.
Yeah, I knew it was a shoulder, but what
I don't think there was a definitive timeline yet.
We don't have like
could
a
play
definitive
with a sling last I read.
Yeah. I mean, if they don't have him and he doesn't, and I think he is in position to take another step to be like that wow playmaker for them. Like you have Worthy and you have Rice together, that you could see it, right? But in that game, once they lost him because Travis Kelce's like and just blasts him over, I don't know whose fault that was. He was trying to, set a little rub for him, and it was just like, here, how about I just maul you
take
instead?
your entire shoulder off your body.
Their offense was just stagnant. And I will say this too, and I think you and I have been on the same page on Justin Herbert. He was special.
He looked very good.
He was special. And, the Chargers with the offensive line shuffle, we'll see. But I definitely have a better outlook for them than I did going into the season. I mean, Herbert was really freaking good. And he's always been tremendously talented. You got to end up proving it. Consistency, do it in the playoffs and all that. I'd take him as my quarterback, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'd take him.
Your boy Bryce Young didn't go very well for him against Jacksonville. Jacksonville wins 26-10.
Let me down.
In Liam Cohen's debut, and Bryce Young was pretty bad in that game.
I was hoping the weather delay would spark him back, but no such luck.
Bryce Young, 18-35, 154 yards, touchdown, 2 picks. Quarterback rating of 49.
Yeah. I guess I'll shut up about Bryce Young again. I was, starting to be a little bit say, I told you.
Just one game.
Yeah, there was, this is the Jags.
I know.
Like the Jags are that good on D. And also, did you see the thing where like he was like during a timeout where he's watching? Oh yeah, there's something out there in Panthers Twitter where he's like there was like a helmet race or something, and he was like teammates are talking, and he was like watching the helmet race. I don't know, man.
Hey, those things can be pretty entertaining.
It wasn't as entertaining as watching the insane woman in Philly take that guy baseball from that
from
dude.
The kid. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
From the dad who's like, when she comes up, like,
also,
what? Don't give her the ball.
Have a little bit less of a panicky response there, dude.
Here's
the ball. It's the boogeyman. Oh yeah.
God, just tell her to shut up and go away.
And then finally, the Bills, as we briefly discussed yesterday, 41-40 comeback win against the Ravens. Derrick Henry, 18 carries, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns in the game. Did have the very costly fumble at the end of the game. Josh Allen, 33 of 46, 394, 2 touchdowns. And I believe, what did he throw for in the fourth quarter? Wasn't it like 250 yards in the fourth quarter? It's crazy.
Otherwise, I was about to beat Kaharski in fantasy. But, yeah, that's fine. Have your little win, PK. I feel fine. I feel fine about Lamar Jackson as my quarterback and about the Baltimore Ravens as a Super Bowl winner this year. But I think the best 2 football players in the NFL are Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen.
You weren't monitoring your tone very much.
Thank you, Paul. I think those are the best 2 football players in the world. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. And John Harbaugh, great coach, won a Super Bowl. I didn't realize all this. You see the stat about blown losses?
Yeah.
Do you remember it?
I don't remember all that, but they've
double-digit blown losses.
They are quickly becoming known as a one of those choke artist teams.
Well, let me tell you something.
It was a higher number than I would think.
Well,
as far as the losses.
In this game, they took it out of Lamar Jackson's hands way too early. And yes, Derrick Henry had the fumble. That's why they still would have won. Let the guy just keep carving them. Lamar Jackson is going to have an insane year, and they are going to win like 13, 14 games. And I think it's going to be Bills-Ravens. And that might be the game that makes it Bills-Ravens in Buffalo instead of in Baltimore. Like, it might be that big. That was one of the best games I've seen in the regular season, like probably ever.
It's very good. There's no doubt. Very good game. And then I guess we should bring up, because we had Colts fans just bombarding us at the end of the show yesterday.
Dun, 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 dun.
Indiana Jones looked very good out there. 22 of 29, 272, 1 touchdown, QB rating of 115.9, and the Colts eviscerate the Miami Dolphins 33-8.
I don't know what the bigger take is there. If like Indiana Jones is just going to be the greatest revival story ever, or if the Dolphins are like just absolute Dolph buns. Thank you.
Nice.
I can't stop laughing because Trevor just sent a picture of the Phillies woman who's looking at the baseball next to a picture of Gollum in the ring, and I can't. Like,
psycho.
He also just sent Jared Goff when Ben Johnson isn't calling his plays and a picture of Dan Orlovsky. That's pretty good. What were we talking about? Trevor derailed me. Oh yeah. Yeah, all the Colts fan, Indy Ben and Jordan from Franklin were talking trash at the very end of the show. Come in earlier in the show. Tell us your takes.
In fairness, they might have. The text line was just so crazy yesterday. We may have just missed it.
Oh,
Who
okay.
knows?
Well, that may be the case. Hey, I mean, you still like completely botched the drafting of Anthony Richardson, and I think that you shouldn't be too excited about Daniel Jones. But you know what?
We'll see.
It was a good week. It was. We'll see.
Well, the Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up next. Robby and Rexrode 102.5 The Game.
Sometimes he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. And sometimes he's just, well, Joe.
Awkward moment. Let's do it.
This is the Rex Rant, now on Robby and Rexrode.
A lot of people are asking about the gout.
Took 1 week in the NFL season for Rexrode to be freezing cold taked.
Oh, I think they might.
You weren't monitoring your tone very much.
Hey, so Brian, you're kind of a jackass, huh?
Do you know your elbow from your ass?
Drop trowel. I'm going to stick this in your ass.
Yeah, Dr. Cosmo Kramer, proctology.
Leave me alone, all of you.
It is time for the Rex Rant, brought to you by Functional Medicine of Tennessee. Rise up to better health. Check them out at functionalmedicineoftennessee.net. Joe Rexrode, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you. A lot of regrettable things come out of my mouth. And they're recorded, unfortunately.
They are, indeed.
Okay. Today, I want to talk about a really problematic person in the world of sports, and that is the Associated Press poll voter. Now, let me full disclosure on this. I have been an AP football and men's basketball voter many times. I usually do 2-year terms. And I have been poll attacked multiple times for, rightfully so, for bad voting. And I don't remember exactly what it was. I remember Gary Parrish in his CBS Sports one time trashed my basketball poll. I don't remember what it was. I know I got attacked one time, rightfully, for like 2 teams played each other, and I still had like the team that just lost, and it was like early in the season ahead of I don't remember which one, but that's the sort of thing that we have a problem with. And the AP poll voting, and yes, this is inspired by anyone who votes in the AP poll, to me, should have Vanderbilt in the AP poll. Not because, Charleston Southern, what does that do? No big deal. At Virginia Tech, it's not nothing. It's impressive. It's dominance. And the biggest problem with voters, and really this is kind of a plea to them and to understand what they're doing wrong. The preseason poll is a guess. Now, it's idiotic to talk about getting rid of it. We'll never get rid of preseason polls. We never should get rid of preseason polls. You have to have rankings going into a year. All those things, we keep track of those things. It's still necessary context. But as a voter, your preseason rankings are a guess. Here's what voters do. They think their preseason rankings are gospel, and so they just need to, I'll just move this team down 3 spots, and I'll move this team up 4 spots from my poll. No, blow it up and give me your new vote. This is what you need to do as a voter the next week, because you now have information. But no, they just say, I'll just go. And I used to be a little bit of a victim of this too, and I got better and realized you just have to, every week is, especially early, completely new information. So I have not prepared for this. I just put these 2 polls up. Okay. So I'm going to look at the preseason poll. Okay. So this is the AP. This is a preseason poll. You got we know Texas was number 1, et cetera. So Arizona State was 11. We thought, so what did we being general college football, the voters thought, right? They thought Bama was 8. They had Michigan at 14. They had Florida at 15. K-State, K-State, of course, they're out of there now. But okay, so you go through, you got Tennessee at 24. Like you said, Robbie, Tennessee was 22 last week, and they go up to 15.
After beating ETSU.
Why?
They moved up 7 spots.
Why? Vanderbilt not ranked. Why? Okay, so let me go to this week's poll. Doing this is really good stuff right here as I click around my computer. Okay, so let's see. South Florida. Okay, South Florida is 18. Now, let me throw this at you. South Florida South Florida has the 2 best wins in college football. Of course, they started the season unranked. They have the 2 best wins in college football. The best 2-win combo, right? They beat Boise, which was ranked at the time, and I still think it's a good team, and they just went into Florida and won.
Yeah.
If South Florida wins at Miami, which right now, let me see.
They're 5.
Is ranked 5. South Florida should be the number one team in the country. Like, based on what you have done, not based on what I think about this team, or I voted this team first, so I gotta get. No, you can't move a team down. Yes, you can. You can move teams way down. You can move teams way up. But these voters they think of their votes as this, like it's scripture. No, it's an Etch-a-Sketch each week. So let me see what else about this week ticks me off. We've mentioned, so, I mean, like, should Michigan be ranked? Michigan's still 23. Should they be ranked at this point? I mean, not that Oklahoma, it was a road game.
Yeah.
But it wasn't an especially close game, right? And I don't mean to pick on Michigan. I know, blah, blah. I'm looking at teams at the bottom. Should Alabama be ranked?
I mean, they did respond very nicely against UL Monroe.
They did put 70 some on UL Monroe.
Yes.
It's just, you go up and down this, and it's just voters just look at each week. And as you go through the season, then
I hear what you're saying on all this, but doesn't the talent, talent's not an objective thing. There's measurables for that. Like, we know Ohio State's roster is unbelievably loaded.
Okay.
That's got to matter in this, doesn't it? Like,
well,
you say if
sure.
South Florida wins against Miami, they should be the number one team. Like, we all know Ohio State's better than South Florida. So shouldn't that matter?
But you're doing ESPN FPI on me, man. Don't get me started on the FPI. Talking about FPI.
But again, that's what the preseason poll. I'm with you. I think you should be way more flexible with your movement early in the college football season. But to me, that's what preseason polls are. You're looking at, okay, these are the most talented teams in America. And it doesn't always play out that way. Like, what was Florida State last year in the preseason poll? 10?
Right.
And then they were 2-10. So you can move it, but like we all know Ohio State pretty freaking loaded.
Fine. Okay. I'll give you Ohio State because they beat Texas. But if Ohio State beat two crap bum teams, that's a Stilly. Thank you. Stilly got it in my brain. Crap bum. I like that word.
Georgia's 2-0. They've beaten Marshall and Austin Peay. They're number 6.
Right. And so, I don't necessarily think that you should move a team down, like Georgia, for doing the beating crappy team. Fine. They can stay there. Here's the problem. Okay. You know what South Florida should be? They should be number 2 then. That's fine. Ohio State. But I think Penn State's absolutely better than South Florida. South Florida should be ahead of them based on achievement if they beat Miami. Penn State hasn't done anything. Penn State hasn't looked good. Are they more talented? Sure. But no, I know this team's more talented than this team.
I just think it's a combination of the two. I don't think you can go exclusively achievement and you can't go exclusively talent. I think it's a combination of the two.
That's fine. Again, that sets your board. Okay. And if a team doesn't do anything to drop, again, that's fine. But achievement should be an accelerator. It's not nearly enough of one for that.
No, I think that's fair. It should be an accelerator, and it's not. Honestly, why is Clemson at 12 at 1-1? Clemson so far has lost to LSU in the second half in particular, where they didn't look very good. And then they were struggling like mad against Troy for a half last week, and then finally figured it out in the second half. And they're number 12 in the country. It's
right. That should have been.
But it's because they're really talented. At least we think they are.
Yeah, but that should have been way more of a plummet. Yes, that's a great example. And again, it's talent, but okay, I look at Utah. We can go on and on. We probably have to stop. But their quarterback, I think, is remarkably talented. The Dampier they got from New Mexico. And I understand UCLA stinks, but they have been dominant. And they just got in. I mean, to me, they should be higher based on that, because sometimes one guy, even if your overall blue chip rating isn't good, can elevate you. So,
I mean, Notre Dame's still at number 8. They're 0-1.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I'm okay with that because I thought they looked good in that game.
Yeah, we'll see. They got that's a big game this week. Texas A&M, Notre Dame.
It is.
We'll see how that goes.
Marcel Reed.
615-737-1025. Our phone number 615-737-1025. We will get back into the Brian Callahan discussion coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Final hour, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Tuesday morning, live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Joe Rexrode, you had more points that you wanted to make.
Well, real fast, first of all, thank you to Teresa Walker, friend of the show, for texting in saying that she liked the rant. Of course, Associated Press, Teresa Walker, she knows this whole thing well. She said it better than I said it. She said, quote, they see the preseason top 25 as their guide. And in this day and age of NIL and the portal, there's no way to be able to go in and not adapt to what we actually happening. So I agree. Even more so now, probably, you have to be open to like, oh, man, I was way wrong on that team and wrong on this team, and I'm going to change up. Nick Frazier comes in, and I should have pointed this out. You know, congratulations to Nick Frazier and all Mississippi State fans for the huge win over number 12 Arizona State. So number 12 Arizona State right now is the last team out of the poll, or the first team out of the poll, 26, with 94 points. 94 votes, it's 94 points, whatever.
Same thing.
Mississippi State has 52. How? We just saw them beat them. There's a great example. Florida getting 70 votes. How? Who are you after what they just did? Why are you voting for them still? Because you had them in your preseason poll. So what? Now, see, that's where your talent thing. Now, some people would say, "Well, I know they're talented." I don't care.
I
know what you're saying. At the top of the poll, yes, I get it.
If you do it strictly based off achievement, that's how you end up with, like, at the end of the year, some team winning a conference champion is getting a bye in the playoff, and Ohio State is sitting there with 2 losses ranked below them. And we all know Ohio State's better. So I just think it's a very nuanced discussion is all I'm saying.
But South Florida, if they win at Florida and they win at Miami on the road, man, I'm just saying that's like they should shoot up more than they will. They will not. They'll go like if they win, what are they now?
Let me tell you this.
There's 18th. They'll move up to like 11th. That's not enough.
If they win that game, everybody's going to be talking about Alex Golesh.
Oh yeah.
Everyone.
Oh,
no, I mean, they kind of already are, but they win that one.
Well, I think there's some Gators fans who are like, can you just stay? Just stay in town and be our coach? Yeah. So anyway, good stuff.
Good stuff. On the Brian Callahan front, so we talked a lot yesterday about basically 2 situations from the game on Sunday in Denver. Number one being right before the half, where he made the decision to be aggressive, deep in his own territory, start throwing the ball, and eventually that led to a touchdown from Denver right before the half that flipped that game. And then getting up there and basically not knowing the rule on the Elakayo Manor play with the elbow being down in bounds after the game. So I expected yesterday for there to be the first part of the press conference. Brian Callahan got up there and says, hey, guys, I screwed up. I got the rule wrong. That's my bad. I'll be better moving forward. That's basically what I thought would happen yesterday. And he kind of eventually got there. Kind of. Like, I didn't even really want to hear all the positive stuff he thought from the game first. Like, that probably should have been the first thing he talked about, but it wasn't. Whatever. He went through the positives and the things he liked from the game. And then this is how Brian Callahan opened yesterday, addressing the misunderstanding, or as he put it, misinterpretation of the rule.
And again, I know you guys are all here for the conversation about the play with Ellick and challenging the play and what I said after the game. And look, ultimately, my interpretation of the rule was wrong. I'll own it. We should have challenged the play, and that's pretty much all I can say about it. Is I'll own the mistake. Should have challenged it, and that's where it stands.
So I'll own the mistake. Should have challenged it. My interpretation of the rule was wrong. That's how he started there. And then a couple minutes later, as the press conference was continuing to go, all of a sudden the answer started to change a little bit. Here's what Brian Callahan had to say. Ian, let's just get the last one there, the one at the very end when he's responding to a question from Stillman about whether or not he knew the one elbow equals 2 feet rule at that time Sunday when the play was made. Here's what Brian Callahan had to say at that point.
So you say that you misspoke yesterday, but at that time you knew that 1 elbow equaled 2 feet.
Say that one more time.
So yesterday when you misspoke on the rule, you did know at that point that 1 elbow equals 2 feet.
At that moment?
Yes.
Yeah, I think at the end of the game, I was worried about a lot of the things that went wrong in the game, and the heat of the moment, the frustration of it after the game in the press conference, I think is, again, I misspoke. I'm well aware of the rule. I understand how it works. And the way that I articulated afterwards was incorrect. And, I understand the rules of this game pretty well.
So, Joe, we start with my interpretation of the rule was wrong. And by the time we swing around to that answer, it's I misspoke and I know the rules pretty darn well. It's like, okay, well, which one is it? We seem like we've changed up pretty quickly here in the span of about 3.5 minutes of your press conference. I heard that yesterday, Joe. I immediately texted you and Ian, and I was like, so did he just totally change his answer in like 3 questions at the press conference? I went back and listened to it, and I wanted to type out the quotes just to make sure I wasn't crazy. And I'm not. It's what he did. He changed his answer right in the middle of the press conference.
Yeah. I don't understand. Obviously this couldn't have been the plan. So he just sort of stepped in it after he had an opening statement. He had a plan. Misinterpreted the rule. Whatever happened with the headset, which Kaharski is, big on Rob's fault, but whatever, we'll have Kaharski tomorrow. He can tell us all about it.
It'll be interesting.
He can help, the listeners dox Rob. Poor Rob. But whatever happened on that, yeah, the plan was here. I mean, own it, and that's fine. I thought it was okay, great. Yeah, and then you get into
I misspoke.
So wait, so you knew, but you missed. And again, it was a good question by Stilly there, which is okay. So just to clarify, right? It's a clarifying question. Okay, so you did know it, but you just missed one. Then get in. Heat of the moment. No, I know the rules.
Did you know it or did you not?
Yeah, it's a bad look. It's just it piles on to the bad look of this is something that's going to be attached to him.
Yeah.
So again, said it earlier, said it again. He may end up being an all-time great NFL coach. That is still on the table for him. I mean, he's one game into his second season as an NFL head coach, and this may be one of those, oh, my God, how about this thing? This is hilarious. Again, I think Dan Campbell's about to come back to earth crashing, and Applebee's is probably going to drop him.
Jeez.
But he's pretty good in those Applebee's commercials. But, we made so much fun of Dan Campbell for so many things, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, geez.
They look pretty good.
And I must say, by the way, just real quick, I'm so glad that, although they were fun, they went 15-2 last year. So, every week you had to, and let me tell you about another guy who does awesome this week. Thank God we don't have to have nearly as many of those this year from Dan Campbell. Anyway, this may be the thing that Brian Callahan, as he enshrined, be some funny footnote. Or, someone brought up Rich Kotite yesterday, it's or this may be one of those things where it's man, this guy's smart, but boy, in some ways, as a coach, not very smart.
This could be a symbol. This could symbolize exactly what his tenure ends up being, is what this could be. I don't understand how the answer shifted that quickly. It's almost to the point, Joe, where he should have just been annoying with it. Every time somebody asked him about it, he should have just said, I misinterpreted the rule. I was wrong. I own it. And now we're moving on. He should have said it 5 times, no matter how it happened.
Yeah, or just non-answer it, which coaches do all the time, and just say, it was on me. That's I'm sorry for this, because I really try not to do this a lot, but if you had Vrabel in the same situation, and again, Vrabel was good with the rule book. No, I think knows the rules. But if it was the same situation, he and a lot of coaches would have been it's on me.
Yeah.
So clarify this, that, dude. It's on me. It was my fault. So do you know it or not? It's on me. Can we move on? That's my fault. But instead, the heat of the moment of the presser, and I know the rules of this game. No.
Yeah, he totally switched in the span of 3 minutes from it. I misinterpreted the rule. I was wrong. And then, I just misspoke. I misspoke, and I know all the rules. It's well, those are 2 complete opposite things there, buddy. So I walked away from that yesterday and just thought to myself, oh, gosh, this could have gone away is probably a stretch, because I don't know that it's ever going away, the fact that the NFL head coach didn't know the rule in the middle of the game. There are going to be fans that bring that up about him forever. So, okay, it's not going away.
Sure.
But you could have really done yourself a service yesterday of just quieting the noise a little bit by just ending it with, "Yep, I screwed it up. I owned it." And instead, you went from "I owned it, it's my fault" in the span of 3 minutes to, "Well, I just misspoke." And now it's like, what? And here we are again talking about it the next day.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about it much more today, and I know some people don't, want to move on. It would be a much more of a move on day if he just stopped there. But it's like, again, then you do.
Again, and there's pulling out screaming about a new topic. Like, do you guys not think this is a big deal that your head coach doesn't know a rule? Like, you guys are so obsessed with Cam Ward and whether or not he's going to be good. And right now, this is the guy in charge of leading him. I feel like it's pretty important. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I would say so. Ed on the YouTube chat says, this is Wizenhunt 2.0. I'm using that one to panic or be rash, but not knowing the rules is criminal. Zero confidence. And Ed is an example of someone who I would say has been generally supportive / positive.
615-737-1025, our phone number. So how does he dig himself out? Can he dig himself out? Where do we think this is all headed with Brian Callahan? We'll get in more of that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. This conversation is going to irritate me. It just is. I don't get it. People are acting like this is just it's like a coach, I don't know, like not using a timeout properly or something, or as if this is some mistake that happens every week. Like, oh, it's not that. Like, coaches do this all the time. There are plenty of coaches around the league that just every week just openly admit to not knowing the rule. It's like, really? Because I don't remember that. I don't remember this being a very common thing among NFL coaches. We got one text that says, "Please beat this dead horse." You act like he had 10 minutes with all the angles on the play to make the call. He missed it, and you can't let it go.
No, that's not the point.
That's not the point. The point is he didn't know about the play. He didn't know the rule. So I don't know what angle he had, but if you take him at his word after the game, even if he had a very clear angle of Io Manor's elbow being down, he wouldn't have challenged it because he didn't understand the rule.
Right.
And we don't think that's a big deal.
Yeah, like Santa in Portland says, well, if he would have done, refused to answer the question, then local media would have been crying about that. Instead, he couldn't win no matter what he said. I've seen a few. So that's fine. I mean, obviously, we're going to pick apart things. And if coaches are combative and stuff like that, we'll have fun with it, pick it apart, get mad about it, whatever. But again, for him, that's the better move. Trust me. That's the much better move. To just say, moving on, rather than, again, changing from the top of the presser, this is what I'm going to say about it, and my decision, with whoever I've consulted with on this, my decision, I'm going to say, I misinterpreted the rule. So that's my statement. Then you get asked to clarify, and you're like, well, I mean, I know the rules. So you're just, like, this is, okay, well, something's wrong, dishonest about it. You can't just blow this off as, like, another
again, if you want to turn this into this being our fault and like the radio show and the media is making a big deal, you can do that if you want to. But as I said earlier in the show, I guarantee you that there are players in that locker room right now that are either wondering to themselves or maybe in some cases talking to themselves and saying, good Lord, did you see what coach said? What's he talking about?
Right.
Like what do you mean you didn't understand the rule and then you misspoke? Like, this is not something that happens every week with coaches around the league who don't know the rules.
No. And that's why the NFL media are just talking about this now, because it's peculiar. It's newsworthy. Oh, I mean, because again, it's not even like, some of these rules are obscure, kickoffs or what, like, there are obscure rules, and then there's like something that constantly comes into play, which is
hey, by the way, people keep telling us to move off the subject. Are you changing the station? Change the station. I don't care. We're not moving off the subject. It's a big deal. You saying that as if that's going to affect me and talking. We're not moving off the subject. It's a big deal. So change the station. What do you think about that?
I'm just going to stay here quietly.
I mean, it's amazing to me that people just brush it. Oh, it's whatever. It just the head coach doesn't know the rules or what he's doing out there, but he's the guy that's going to develop Cam Ward.
It does point to the bigger picture whether or not Callahan is in can he handle all the duties he needs to handle during the game, whether that's the decision-making process and strategy with the coach combined with the offensive play calling all in the same situation. Like, is he capable of handling both, given this is his first time doing both? You have to learn how to call plays and be a head coach at the exact same time.
Well, and you're 3-15 trying to do that.
Yeah. And again, the separate play, that's just not an answer. It's not a real, and I got people telling us, like, bring in Munchak. Brian, you call plays and Mike Munchak is back. I mean, you may have been trolling me. If so, good job. It worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, to pretend that this is just nothing or run of the mill stuff, or that if he just stood mute on it. Yeah. I mean, again, he tried to take the accountability. Like, he did the positives. He tried to take which was fine. If that's how it ends, and again, and he doesn't say anything else after that, move on, fine. Is there a little bit of falling on a sword for Rob, Paul's favorite guy? Yeah, maybe. But again, even if Rob gave him bad advice, he should know in the moment. And even if because it's so quick, you made a mistake at the press conference, I mean, you have to know the rule. And then are you really trying to say that you just misspoke?
That's the thing.
You were pretty confident with, he said, play it again. Go listen to it again. You were pretty confident with, well, one elbow doesn't equal 2 feet. Well, it does.
Yeah, that's the point. Like, I don't understand the disconnect here. Like, this is the guy leading your team. And again, you could say it's our fault for making too big a deal if you want to, but I guarantee you the players in the locker room are talking about this. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's amazing to me that we're supposed to brush this aside as if this is not some big deal. I mean, all the NFL media is talking about it now. It's like, oh, can you believe the Titans coach didn't know the rule? As if this is something that happens on a weekly basis.
Right.
Let's
him walking it back, dude. Like, I can deal with. I knew when they had that set ball at the 7-yard line, this coach was in way over his head. I think Ian said better than anybody that it just got too much. I don't think he has like one redeeming quality. If I just happen to have a nepo baby coach, I'd rather just have Belichick's crazy kid or something like that. At least you're going to get something interesting or entertaining. Like, this right here is just awful, dude. Like, I feel like Levis, I'm blaming everything on Levis now on Callahan. That over 1 week, I'm putting all of Levis on Callahan. I think he's dumber than Levis, and now I think he's going to turn Cam Ward into a dumb quarterback. We're going to end up a year from now going, is Cam dumb or is it just this coach? So you got to be careful, man. Like, you surround dumb people or surround regular people with dumb people, they get real dumb. So we'll see.
Thank you, Adam. I don't know that I would go that far.
Well, Levis would have been an all-pro last year. Oh boy! All right, we may have gone too far. We may have hit the border.
All right.
This should have been the Rob rant. Why wasn't this the Rob rant today?
I mean, I just don't understand, guys. I really don't. Like, I don't understand why some of you are acting like this is just an everyday thing that happens in the NFL.
We do not want Belichick's kid, by the way.
We do
Adam.
not. No. Like, this is
love the mullet.
I'm not sitting here saying this is going to define Brian Callahan, but this is a big deal. It's a big problem. Like, this is not a normal thing in the NFL, this situation that we're talking about. It's just not. I don't know what to tell you.
No. Again, this is going to last a long time. Again, in what it'll be context for something. A heck of a turnaround, starting with this great game plan and play calling against the Rams or soon after, or big part of the reason why, this guy just wasn't cut out for it.
Let's head back to our 102.5 The Game phone line. Welcome in Brad to the program. Brad, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, I just wanted to also point out that, we're all talking about Brian Callahan didn't know the rule. He didn't challenge. He's ultimately the one on the field that has to throw that flag. But I'm more concerned about, you've got a booth and you've got a consortium of coaches up there, whether it's 4 or 5 people, just one of them could have said, hey, you got to throw that flag. None of his coaches threw the flag and said, hey, you've got to do that. So he doesn't even have a group that had one person up there that stood up, because that's their job.
I think there is one.
Split.
Yeah, I think there is one person with that specific job, but I mean that is fair for sure.
And then the last thing I wanted to say is, again, when you are a leader, you preach accountability. And he started off and he owned it, and then he let it go, and that is a huge red flag. As a leader, when you say, hey, I'm accountable, when you preach accountability and you take it, it's easier to have that leadership in the locker room. But when you skirt it, now other people are going to say, I don't know, I'm going to be out on him. So yeah, he's got to have to win a few games to get this buried. He's in a world of hurt right now.
We'll continue to take your thoughts at 615. Thank you for the call, Brad. Take your thoughts, 615-737-1025. Our phone number. Allow your thoughts to get to on the Callahan front. We'll do that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Let's head to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Charles to the program. Charles, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you for taking my call. Hey, I wanted to take a real quick shot at this. I think that this is an organizational design issue. The head coach should not be calling the plays. And this is the equivalent of, in a regular business, if the head of sales became the CEO of a company and decided to maintain his responsibility over the sales organization, which is essentially what the offensive team is. And I not only believe that he should relinquish these duties immediately, because if I think about this past weekend, had he not been calling plays, I'm 100% sure he would have gone into his headset and said to his offensive coordinator, hey, with the 40 seconds, let's just run this thing out. Instead, he put himself in the position of a play caller, and he thought like a play caller rather than a head coach. The other component of this, and I think this falls on Bergonzi, the only way Callahan will be successful as a head coach going forward is as a true head coach. He's already defined himself as not being one of the Sean Paytons of the world that can manage both. So for his own good and the good of the organization, he needs to immediately turn it over to his OC. Even if he's an inferior play caller, you can weigh in, right? I mean, you can offer up suggestions or call plays, but if he doesn't surrender play calling, this cannot work. It may not work anyway, but I'm 100% convinced this is an org design issue. Period.
Thank you, Charles. Appreciate it.
We got to stop with this, guys. I mean, it was a well thought out call, but it just completely look. Let's go through them just off the top of your head. Okay, Mike McDaniel. These are head coaches in the NFL who I know for sure are play calling head coaches. Zach Taylor, Kevin Stefanski, Liam Cohen,
LaFleur.
Is Peyton? I'm not sure if Peyton does. Peyton have a play calling OC?
No, he's the play caller.
No, he's the play caller.
He had the giant Waffle House menu out there.
Sean Payton's not going to leave.
Matt LaFleur, Andy Reid, I believe, does, right? He's the play caller there. Andy Reid is, like you said, Matt LaFleur, Kevin O'Connell, Ben Johnson.
It's a lot of the league right now.
Yeah, obviously Sean McVay, obviously Kyle Shanahan. They are why this is all over the league. And it's just what it is. This is not like you're acting like the caller's acting there like it's some outlier or something. It's not. And I'm not saying like maybe this trend, if enough situations like what's happening here happen, then maybe the trend fades. There are trends all the time in the NFL, but he got this job to do that. And also I don't agree. I don't understand the rationale of, well, if he was the head coach and not the play caller, he would have said, yeah, I'll just run this out. He is the head coach. He can't step outside of what is the next play that I call to just say, oh, gee, they have 2 timeouts and we're at our own 3, so let's go ahead and go to the hat. Like,
if he can't
being a play caller does not preclude you from being a common sense having CEO at all.
Well, if he can't do that, then you got a bigger problem than him just not being able to handle both jobs at the same time.
Yeah, that's
right?
just like flat out fireable.
Yeah, it's fireable. Like if you can't handle that, well then you're not gonna survive as head coach. So look,
we got to stop with it. He's not giving up play calling, guys. He's
not going
to
get
get fired, or he's going to be the play calling head coach. It's one of the two things.
I totally agree with you. No, but Charles is not alone there. Like Willie was talking about that yesterday. Like in terms of some people can't handle both. I agree. That's probably the case. Some people can't handle both, but I think at this point,
there's not a scenario where he's going to get one of the two.
There's not that doesn't exist anymore. Like that to me should have been a, hey, that's how you started, and you're going to be the head coach, and you're bringing in an OC when your tenure started here, or at the end of last season, Joe, he should have made the decision to bring in somebody as a play caller. If you do it now, like if they get 3-4 more weeks down the road, and then all of a sudden he decides that he doesn't need to be one calling plays anymore, he's going to get fired. Like it's what it is. He's going to get fired at that point.
Yes. Gino says the people you're listening have been coordinators for. He was the offensive coordinator in Cincinnati, Gino. And also,
he didn't call plays there.
He didn't call play, but okay. How many guys did I just list
I know,
did not
yeah.
call plays
Kevin
as
O'Connell
OCs and
didn't
then
call plays. Yeah, you're right.
and on and on and on. This is the most popular route, and the Titans took it, and they might have just made a bad choice.
Yeah. Let's head back to our 1025 The Game phone line. Welcome in Daniel to the program. Daniel, good morning. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, I 100% agree with what you guys are saying about Callahan. He was hired to be the head coach and the OC. If he's giving up his duties as OC, then why is he even going to be here? He should be fired.
Right.
But I don't think I heard at halftime. Christina Pink, sideline reporter for Fox, mentioned that Callahan had trouble getting the plays to Cam Ward on time. He was getting plays in late. How are you the OC, the head coach, and you're getting play calls in late? I mean, that makes zero sense to me. You got a rookie quarterback, and you can't get the play calls in on time. I mean, that's ludicrous.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Daniel. So it's interesting he brings that up because that came up in his press conference yesterday. And I guess he basically talked about like the urgency in the huddle, like pretty much is what he was talking about. And it's like, okay, I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not in the huddle. I don't know what the issues were getting the play calls in and why that took longer. He did say that there were probably some times where Ward didn't have enough time to operate at the line of scrimmage there. So, I mean, obviously that's a problem. You got to get that fixed moving forward here, but I don't know the ins and outs of what the issue was there. So I can't make an educated comment on it.
But this is context for everything we're talking about.
Yes.
So people who are like, you're beating the dead horse. Okay. But see, the context also is the end of the half, which again, like as far as just like a decision, I have a way bigger problem with that decision than not challenging. It's the explanation and the changing of the story after that. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But again, the context is the play still not coming in fast enough. The context is, oh, gee, here's a receiver screen. They're all blocking for Casper.
No one's catching the ball. Yeah.
And too many plays where multiple people looked like they didn't know what was going on. The very first play of the game, Dan Moore apparently didn't know what the play was.
Yeah.
If you watch that play, it was a run play. His guy said, thank you. I'll take that TFL.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan. I mean, and again, things happen. People make mistakes. Defense throws you a curveball. There's a lot of things that we don't know everything happened to play, but sometimes it's like, clearly that guy and that guy don't have any idea what is supposed to be happening.
Right.
That's on coaching.
Yes. And that's not even getting into the 13 penalties for 131 yards.
Oh, yeah,
there's
there's that too.
Like,
there's context.
The backdrop of all of this is right now it's bad. It's a poorly coached football team. And we can talk about the talent. We can talk about the lack of expectations this year. And we agree on all that. Like, nobody thought the Titans were going to be good this year. But there's a way that this eventually needs to look for them to one day be good, right? And that's what I'm concerned about. Like, it would be one thing if you're losing these close games, but you're pretty clean in your operation. You don't take a lot of penalties. And you just looked out there and said, yeah, I mean, they just got better players than we do, and they're kicking our butt. Like, that's one thing in the NFL. It's another thing to have all that and also look out there and say, well, we got almost as many penalty yards as we do offensive yards, because there's no discipline around here. We got plays going on left and right where people don't know where to go or where to be and what they're doing. Like, those are two different things. And that's, if you're trying to forecast forward here of, is Brian Callahan the right guy to lead your team when hopefully you figure some of your roster out? These are not things that are helping him in that discussion.
Exactly. And so then now we're having words match actions. Again, I go back to last year. I thought he handled last year well. There is a year of, I know Stilly will text me and think, nothing good ever happened all year. But like there, and it was a terrible team, but there was a year of like the overall product, not good. The rookie coordinators, the special teams was a disaster, these things. I thought he handled it fine last year. I don't remember anything where it was like, oh my God, are you kidding me that he said that? I mean, I thought he was fine. He is revealing. He's good with the media, all that stuff. But now you have all these things that even look worse after this whole idea of changing the offseason and getting the chemistry built and all that stuff. And now we have words that match this product that are alarming. Yeah. And that to me, it's the first time that we've had that, but it's pretty bad.
Let's quickly head back to our phone line. Welcome in Sean in Houston to the program. Sean, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, fellas. Man, I traveled to Denver to watch this. And I'm going to tell you like this. Callahan is not the answer. He's the problem. The offense is still looking confused as it did last year. I mean, the first and second run, putting your rookie quarterback in tough situations on third and longs. I mean, your veteran players still making the same mistake 7 years in with the late hit on the quarterback. It's just ridiculous, man. He has no control of the team. And I'm telling you right now, they need to go on and fire him, put the interim coach as Denora Wilson, have your OC be Mike McCoy. It's simple as that. Let's go. Callahan is not the answer. Wasting time keeping him there. That's just how I see it.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate the call.
And sorry for your travels, and I hope you still had fun in Denver.
I hope so. We'll have more to get to coming up next on the Titans front. 615-737-1025, our phone number. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts on the Titans at 615-737-1025. Our phone number, 615-737-1025. Joe, I don't think based on the text line that the offensive coordinator / Brian Callahan should be calling plays anymore. Conversations going anywhere right now.
Guys, again, it's just, I get it. Like, again, I get the previous caller, the idea of it. And I also get that just because there's an NFL, which one of those guys have failed? Let's see. We've had our guy in Denver. That was a flame out. My man Hackett.
That didn't go well.
Obviously, Josh McDaniel just, it just doesn't work.
No,
right?
Not as a head coach.
As a head coach,
Not sure McDaniel's going to work in Miami though either.
Yep. But even he's had he's had success.
He's
Okay
flashed.
to this point. Yeah.
Right. He has
had
success.
A quick end here.
Kingsbury failed.
Yeah.
So there's one that failed. So, but it's not. I mean, it is
Nagy.
Yeah.
Green
sure.
guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Was it? I can't remember.
No, he was,
blanking on his first name, but
Matt Nagy,
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He was a play calling. That's right. Yeah. So some are gonna. But the thing is, so there's a few we just came up with immediately that failed, and still it's a prevailing trend. But the bottom line is, if this is how you set it up, there isn't really. Has this happened? Has it happened?
That would be what I would ask. How many out of all of those guys, the ones that we know have failed, the ones that are still doing it at a high level as head coach, have any of those guys given up play calling? I don't know the answer. Maybe it's happened a couple of times.
Yeah. If anybody, I can't recall that being reported.
I would lean that being no. I would lean if you brought those guys in to be your offensive gurus and run the system, that they're probably the ones calling the plays. I don't know. Maybe it has happened a couple times where one of them said, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do both. I need to just focus in on being the head coach. But it's not very common. That I can tell you.
Yeah, I don't know of it. This is a great we can get into it with PK tomorrow, but also with Charles on Thursday. He would definitely have the league context on that. The bottom line is, as you've said, as I've said, as we've said, as I hope we don't have to keep telling people, that's not going to be the solution. The solution is going to be Brian Callahan turns it around, or they do well enough this year that he gets another year, or he's fired. And it's not going to be, Nick Colts will call the plays and Brian will just be the CEO. That's not it. These setups are really like Denard Wilson is the head coach of the defense. And now we have Bones Fossil as the head coach of special teams. It is a little bit more, I think, compartmentalized with this. But that's the thing. You still have to be the CEO as a head coach. It's still all under your umbrella. But ultimately, the offense is your baby. Yep. And that's why you get these jobs.
Yeah,
if the offense is the worst part of your team and all these things that we've talked about are this bad, then you're just going to get fired.
That's the trend in the NFL. They're doing this so you don't constantly lose your play caller.
Exactly.
You want to find your head coach who calls the plays so he doesn't get elevated like the Lions are going on right now with Ben Johnson.
Dan Campbell is sitting there. So this is the strategy
in the NFL. This is not like some unique thing for the Titans. You hire the guy who can call the plays and run the team. This way, if they have a good season, you don't lose your play caller and you start all over.
Right. Dan Campbell might be suffering, and it's not just from Ben Johnson, but might be suffering some pain this year because he lost his play caller to another team.
Yeah. I mean, and again, it would also be another thing if there was more success that Brian Callahan already had built in as a head coach to where he could lean back and say, you know what?
Exactly.
I need to give this up because I think that would be best for the team.
And I've got this guy, I've got whatever. Matt LaFleur,
right.
He's ready. So put him in there.
But the fact is he's 3-15.
Exactly.
If you do that, you're basically signing your own death warrant.
You're admitting that the entire basis of your hire was faulty. So you're just fired.
Exactly.
I mean, so we got to get away from this whole narrative. It's kind of a time waste. We need more time to talk about what he says at press conferences.
Yeah, we do. Apparently we need a whole lot more time.
We yell a lot the first couple of days of this week.
All right. I'll try to calm down.
No. Oh, no, man. Let's ratchet it up tomorrow. We got PK coming in.
Next Man Up with Jake Lyman coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.